Get a motion?
Want motion? Make a motion to approve 2 Pearl Brook Road as drawn.
We got a second?
Second.
All in favor? Okay, and we have a newer management plan.
Yes,
Wow.
Rick talked about this.
Okay, Rick, what do you got, buddy? Is this, the big farm?
Yeah, so it's 158 Main Street, which is next to that dental office right there.
Okay.
And so they've got everything filled out, so the horse farm, private stable is what they're applying for.
Wow, that tastes good.
11 horses, estimating 150 pounds of manure produced a day, removed monthly, composted on site, and spread in the spring and fall. You don't set the majority of, it goes off-site except for the compost for the field. And type of storage facility is cleared area. And so then we've got a sketch here, so we've only got one, but everybody can take a look at it. So there's, they don't show it on here, but there is kind of like a wetland that was created out here. I don't know if you guys have been by the property
Yeah,
lately.
it's actually at the very back, is
Yeah.
the stream goes down there by the rail trail.
So
That's still being discussed in conservation.
Is it?
Resolved that,
Yeah,
So that, I think, you know, that comes down kind of a swale here and comes out into the back. Hayfield, field for horses, hayfield. They've got the big barn and the indoor riding arena. Hayfield's out back and the compost pile that he's got shown kind of in the back of the property here.
that's right by the
He
water.
does have the rail trail there. So is this, you know, he's not showing any wetlands on this
There's none there, I've been down there. It's on the other side of the rail trail.
over here?
No,
Or over on here?
it's the other side, yeah. The river's actually back there.
Okay. So, you know, with, I haven't been out that far, I've been kind of in this area, but I haven't been
Yeah.
out in the back part of it, so, you know, where you have, Jim, that's far enough away from the wetland area.
I'm gonna say yes. Yeah.
So it seemed like it was pretty reasonable. I know in the past you guys have asked for kind of that impervious, your bottom on the.
I think
the
we've
compost
kind
piles,
of,
But I think,
I think
yeah,
we kind of did away with that
Yeah.
because of Gavin's point that it doesn't really matter if it's on something, it's gonna run off
eventually it's
anyway.
gonna- yeah.
So it doesn't really make sense to have someone do that. I mean, I'd love to see him have a dumpster back there to keep it in, but it wouldn't matter
The
there
only
either.
thing that I'd recommend though is just a slab for easy cleaning. Cause if you got a tractor with a bucket on it and you're piling all that on dirt,
Mm.
you're gonna dig into the dirt every time you go to remove the material. If there's a slab poured there, at least you got a solid surface to run the bucket across. It just makes a little more sense to me. There's still gonna be runoff that's gonna go over the edge of the slab, but at least every time you go to clean it.
Are we making a recommendation for that? or-
I think it would be a recommendation
Yeah.
beyond anything else because of the fact we can't demand them to do that at this stage of the game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But a suggestion would just make it easier for them when they're gonna move it, especially in the winter time.
Oh, I agree with you 100%. I mean,
Now,
It's just
are they, is this like a business?
It says private stable, so your public stable
11
would be renting them out. I think the name is familiar, I think he's like an equine vet.
Yeah,
is he using that to, like, fix horses?
I don't think so because they travel. I think it's like a traveling vet clinic. I don't know way too much about it, but I know
Don't
he
they
used to own a
board-
house out on North End Road.
Don't they board there and also train?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, he didn't indicate that because that would be a public stable at that point.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know enough about it either.
Yeah. Well, I guess, what do we do with this? Just recommend that they keep it on a slab and approve it? I mean,
If
you're
if
saying
that's
it's,
what you want to do, I mean, you know, if everything else seems reasonable, which you're not seeing anything that
Yeah.
doesn't, then you could make that recommendation and approve it, and then we've got the plan on file, so if there are any issues that come up, then we can, you know, refer back.
Yeah, if they have a problem with too much and digging into the dirt, we recommended that you did do the slab, maybe it's time you take advantage of that, put the slab down.
right, and then also you got conservation still looking at the
Yeah,
runoff.
there's
going
issues
into the
there,
water.
so
Yeah.
you gotta stay out of that one.
Yeah, no, we're doing our part. I would like to take a look at that myself, because I can tell you, as someone that uses the rail trail, walk my dog and stuff, the water that comes, I'm gonna say, off of Main Street, runs between the two properties. You know, I know conservation knows about that. But when you get down to the back, it turns and runs along the rail trail, and then there's a pipe, I guess, that goes under to the other side where the river is. So I don't know if that's a problem. I don't know enough about that stuff to,
With the distances I saw on that, I don't even think it's gonna be close enough to bother with it,
okay,
because that's a pretty flat area there. Because I walked that wheel trail a couple of years back,
yeah,
and when you get to the other side, that banking drops off maybe 40 feet there.
yeah.
So,
So like I said, I don't know enough, I don't know anything about conservation, so.
I know a little bit, but
Yeah.
not enough to scare me.
Yeah,
The reason this came to the board was because the Conservation Commission, when they did a walk, said that they saw several piles, large piles of manure, and they were concerned about that. So where it's not on the plan, do you think that Rick, I don't know. I know that it's at our manure management plan, when we give it to them, it says that you have the right to go inspect the property.
Yeah.
Do you think that maybe you should do that after we send it? To
We
make
can,
sure that it's accurate?
Yeah, if that's what you wanna do. I went out to that last one we did on, Parker Hill Road, before they had gotten it and kinda walked it, and this one I didn't, so if that's something that you wanna do with ours,
No,
then yeah, set
absolutely.
that up.
yeah.
It's because this is, the reason why it's before us is because it was brought to the attention
Yeah.
from that board.
Okay, yeah, please do.
Yeah, so if you just, once you get it all, typed up or whatever you have to do with it, if you could leave it in my box, it's got his phone number on there, right?
Mhm.
So I can give him a call and set that up.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. Thank you.
And, so if they're removing manure, do they need a waste hauler with a permit to go through town for manure,
Not for manure,
not for manure?
yeah.
I was just thinking it might be nice to have, like, who the waste hauler would be, but if they don't need a permit for that.
Well, does the permit need to be done by the hauler themselves?
Well, we have hauler permits.
Right.
But not for manure, Rick's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
Because
not
that would
really-
just be for like trash waste.
Feel like, yeah, more kind of farming related.
Yeah, okay.
Bet your Murray and Sons picks it up in Ashby.
I would think that's something that they'd probably want to reuse, right?
Well, they're saying that the majority's moved off-site monthly.
Yeah.
So there shouldn't be, and then there's an exception for compost to use on the fields. So there shouldn't be more than, really shouldn't be more than 20 yards of manure
For that
at
field.
any point in time for that field, realistically, right? So there shouldn't be multiple piles
Right. If it's
in the
removed
10 to
monthly.
20 yard range
Yeah,
on site. It should be a, a managed,
so that's something we have to keep an eye on, I guess. Is that something that you would do, or is that somebody else that?
So at least, typically we have these on file, but they're not something that we're actively going out and checking. So they're more, for if we get a complaint,
right?
then we can go back and point to it and say, hey, you're not doing what we had approved as far as your manure management goes.
Yeah.
So that would be kind of how we handle the typical one.
Yep,
But, we can do the initial inspection and if there's any concerns, then it can be brought up then, or it can be brought up when the letter goes out to them.
Should we stipulate this to be after Rick goes to see the property, we'll make a final determination?
No, I mean,
yeah,
I don't think
I
we
don't think we need to do that.
Because if you're talking 22 yards of manure, you're gonna have to pour at least a 12-foot square or 14-foot square slab. That's considerable manure.
Well, what I'm saying is that if there's a report of a nuisance, right? So let's say you're walking the rail trail and there's 40 yards of manure and it becomes a nuisance that somebody brings it up, and then that triggers us to go and look at it,
Yes.
and there's 40 yards of manure, then we can say, hey, the majority of this you stated was supposed to be removed. That's more than what you would compost on your own field and spread on your own field. At that point, I think that's when you could say you're not upholding what the board.
The problem with that too, though, is they said it's removed monthly.
Right.
What day of the month are they removing it? Are they just doing
Sure,
it
right.
randomly, or?
Sure.
So when the complaint comes in, they go, the guy's coming tomorrow. you
Right,
know?
sure. No, that's, that's, but we don't have a manure management plan,
Mm.
or a manure management program in town that says that you have to be doing anything other than
I
that.
don't think we have one in the state, do we?
I mean, they've got like best
Individuals,
practices.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. There's no real
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not
enforcement as
regulation.
far as.
So I think if
That's
we
sad.
if we approve it, in my opinion, if we say, we recommend a slab and we recommend best practices,
Mm.
right, that's about as good as we can do right now, and if there's a nuisance, then we can look at it, but other than that, this isn't something we go and look at.
Right.
Typically, we let folks
What they gotta do.
do
Yeah.
what they're supposed to be doing, and,
Mhm.
you know, we try to hold them to that. That's what we've done in the past with everything else,
Yeah.
right? So,
So do we get a motion to approve with the stipulations of making sure the manure, excessive manure is removed monthly?
yeah,
You gonna make a motion?
sure. I'll make a motion to approve manure management plan for 58 Elm Street.
158.
158 Main Street, with a recommendation of a slab for the manure pile and monthly removal.
There.
That's good.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We have it.
You don't have to, after you approve it, then we put the.
Did you take this back?
Oh, okay.
I can give it to Carly.
Yeah, okay.
Excellent, thank you.
So, guess what we're gonna do, guys, is,
Let Rick go.
let Rick go.
Okay.
Thanks, Rick, appreciate it. Yes, I forgot we are not here at 6 o'clock at night. We're here at 9 in the morning. I know you have a full day, thanks, I
Yeah, no
appreciate
problem.
it,
Have a good
Rick.
day, guys.
We'll see you next time.
All right.
All right, so 1.7, a public hearing to increase fees for recycling center. You guys have a copy of these.
Can we have a motion to
Justin?
open the hearing?
Why, yes, we can. Can we have a
Make a
motion?
motion to open the hearing on upgraded, raising prices at the recycling center.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes, aye, aye. All right, so we have a list here of the suggested price raising fees.
This is only going by what we're being charged, and I put the slip down so you could see some of the things, where the microwaves were being charged $15. So we have to charge more. I mean, you can't,
Yeah.
you have to.
Right.
The CFCs are $50. I don't know what to do about that. I know that we have small and we have large. 15 and 20 is ridiculous.
Well, I just think, are we being charged different prices for them, Kyle, or are they both just the
No,
same?
this is the state price. This is
Okay.
the state prices. This is what the contract on the state says. We can go to a different company, but they're still gonna charge us this.
Right,
So, you might be able to get away with the labor in there, which hopefully we will get done if we can get the Gaylords down there, so the electrical, equipment can just go in.
yeah,
But, that's what they're getting now.
right.
And the smoke detectors, didn't even know. They're charging us $20 for them.
For the little round smoke
Our
detectors?
smoke detectors, so if they're charging us $20, we're gonna have to charge $20 too.
Absolutely.
The
Wow.
mattresses, I know that we started out at 30,
Yeah,
but the unit price is 33. And we don't get a lot of king or queens. So when I looked at the last two, we've emptied them twice now. It's not really, I would like to raise it to 35 because we get more of those, and maybe I can give you a spreadsheet that will show you exactly and I could do that at the next meeting, that would show you exactly how much money we're making in the mattresses, because we're not supposed to be making money, but we do have to be self-sufficient. So you can charge a little more because you can. What
Or
are,
because we need to.
yeah,
It's not that we can do anything we want, but we can't lose money. I mean, we are self-sufficient, the town gives us nothing.
and you have to pay
Yeah.
for other, you have to pay for payroll, you have to pay for the electricity, you have to pay for the maintenance, so you have to charge something more
Right.
than what the disposal cost is.
Especially since with the gas price last year, we paid for propane, it was crazy. You
So
know,
it was.
just to keep the pipes from freezing,
Mhm.
so.
So I don't know if you would like me to do a little bit more professional spreadsheet than my chicken scratch here. And you wanna look at this, and we can revisit it at the next meeting?
Being a person that was going there every time it was open, I see what we get, and I'll be honest with you, if this is the only problems we have with pricing, I have no problem with, raising these to what we need to survive. We've never really gotten a complaint from anyone. You know, you get the occasion of like people that wanna put everything into the, switch shop because they don't wanna pay the $5 to throw a rake away, which drives me mental, you know? Because they just, you know, you get people in there that just wanna do that. And I would recommend, yeah, well, I don't wanna lie to you, Jim, so.
You know,
But I would like to, also make a sign for that shop that says, leave one, take one. This isn't just a place for people to drop stuff off.
Okay.
Because all we ever see really is people filling it, no one taking shit out, stuff out.
We haven't done an annual flyer,
Right.
so that would be something that we could put on the annual flyer as
Right.
recycling center updates and get this out
Yeah,
with the new prices so everyone sees it
yeah,
when it's approved.
yeah. I would like to hear from the board on what you guys think.
So, kind of back to the fees, just to take a step back for a second. We should probably be at somewhere around a 5% increase on what we're getting charged.
Okay,
I would think, somewhere in that range, in the 5 to 10% range of an increase on everything on the list.
Okay,
So if we're getting charged $30 for bulky extra large, our fee should be 5 to 10% more than that. Even if it's $37,
Yep.
if it's a little bit of an odd number, but it's like that across the board, so we're showing we're trying to be consistent with the percentage. That kind of helps out. And I think for larger items, if we have more manual work that needs to go into it on our end, maybe that percentage is a little bit higher for the larger items. I think this is kind of something that we should maybe consider across the board,
when you say
Instead of
across
just
the
picking.
board, do you mean the
the
whole?
entire schedule.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, yeah. Picking out $5 on this, you know, the CFCs, that's a no-brainer. But I think across the board, if we're just picking and choosing, we might as well just say, look, why don't we just do a 5% increase on everything, and then these few items that require a little more action and activity and cost a little more for us to get rid of, we do a 10% on that. I think that's a little bit better than picking and choosing, because
yeah,
we're just gonna revisit this again in a year and say,
Mm.
we got burned on this, or this one worked out, as a thought.
The last
you would
time,
appreciate that, because last time we went through this, I guess you hadn't raised prices in 10 years.
10 years,
Sure, that's
And they,
too long.
and actually, a
you couldn't
previous,
figure out what to
a
do.
previous board, which we we'll talk about, just wanted to pick and choose, and I said, why don't we just raise everything
Yeah.
by $5, which helped at the time, you
Right,
know? Because, you know, like, some of the smaller stuff will cover the cost of some of the larger things, but you know, that was my first thought of this, but I never thought of percentage-wise. That makes a lot more sense, Gavin.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, and I think that's a great thing, and I, you know, the cost of getting rid of the stuff isn't going down by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, it'll never go down.
Yeah, plus you're also looking at fuel fees now, because the price of fuel is up high again. So that's probably a good thing for us to do. Jim, what do you think?
I think it's a lot of good conversation and great thoughts, but if you look at this list and you just throwing 5% on, we've got $6 items, $5 items, $9 items. It's gonna be kinda rough to keep and maintain a 5% increase all the way through everything, because the numbers are gonna fluctuate so much, and who's gonna be responsible for making sure that it's done? So by sticking with even numbers,
I agree with that, yeah.
okay, it's easier for the people at the recycling center, it's
Yeah.
easier for the people coming in, because all you gotta add up is the real dollars and no
Yeah.
change.
Yeah, no change.
Well, I don't think that Gavin was saying change, I think we would round up to $12 or $13.
Well, if you get an item for $5 and you're going up 5%, that should only be, what, 25 cents?
Hmm.
So that's,
Yeah, yeah.
it's not
Can't do
really, by just going up from 5, make it 6, and right across the boards on every item here, other than the ones that have doubled,
Yeah,
they should
we
stay.
can keep it in the whole dollar amount, if you want, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
And I would keep it in a whole dollar amount for sure.
yeah, because I feel the 5% isn't enough to substantiate what we're trying to accomplish here.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's not the right number, maybe the number's 20%.
Even at that, we're still into all these odd numbers going right down the pike, whereas if we just go across the board $1 on every item, that's gonna more than compensate for what we're going through now, and the ones that have already doubled and have gone up more than the percentage, leave them where they are.
Right.
I can tell you also the complaints that I've seen at the dump is the prices like $6, you know, and there was one, I think, for tires, that someone said, why are you not just charging $10? What's with 9? You know, it's just a weird number, and it's hard for us to make change on that, because, you know, most of the people have 10s, 20s, and 100s. You know, we don't carry a lot of ones. I think you throw, what, 5 ones in or something?
I actually have 35 ones to
Is it
start.
31 ones?
That's why I do it, because
You know,
I know that you
it's
need
just,
it.
we're
And-
not a retail store.
Well, the
You know what I mean?
tires, the reason why the tires was 9, because if you see, tires under 3 were $10, and then if people were bringing in a lot of tires, we were giving them a break. So the person who came in with 20 tires was only charged $9 for the 20. If you brought in 3 tires, you were charged $10. That's,
I just think just a set per tire should be fine,
Okay.
because most people throwing tires away that are residents are throwing 4. Not, if you're bringing in 35 tires, you're probably not a resident, because who has 35 tires in the yard?
Neighborhood cleanup.
Yeah,
The property next to my house,
you know,
there's probably 350 tires. In a
is that,
vacant lot.
was that a vacant lot, everybody just dumped them in?
These are old, they're all bias-ply tires, so
Oh,
they've
really?
been there for
Long time.
Yeah.
at least,
Have you considered
7
buying that
years.
lot and cleaning it for the
we've
time?
been trying to buy that lot for 10 years.
Is that the one with all the track through it,
No,
between you and the next house? Or is that all
it's
yours?
between me and the next house,
Yeah,
yeah, but
okay.
there's one that connects Gilchrist Road and Tile Seaver.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's like a 5-acre
Oh, no kidding?
parcel in between, just strip
Yeah.
in the middle there.
Yeah, and no one's interested in selling it.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Oh, we don't need to get into that, that's between you and them, but
Uh,
I was just curious on my part.
But, yeah, we certainly need to increase things, and 10 years is certainly too long, in my opinion, to wait to increase
well, we did
fees across
increase,
the board.
what was it, in 2019?
Yeah,
So it's now been 4 years.
Yeah.
So,
That's probably a good time frame to do a across-the-board increase.
do you wanna do a $5 increase across the board?
You can't do a
Every
$5 increase on a $5 item. That's double the price. Yeah, most of this is being done with plastic, right?
What do you mean?
We
It's
don't
all
have
cash up
plastic.
there?
Cash or check?
Cash or check,
Cash or
Cash or
check,
check,
that's
yes.
it.
yeah.
We don't have any internet or anything to do
Oh,
with
that's a
it.
fact too, that was
Yeah,
a
we don't,
rather
we don't even
ridiculous
have it here
statement,
in the
James.
town hall. We
Yeah.
don't even take credit cards in the town hall,
Yeah,
so.
I think maybe we should sleep on this till our next meeting and come back after some thought has been put into this, cause I'm still a firm one to think that 5%'s not enough. And a buck a piece might be too much, but we've gotta govern ourselves accordingly here in some fashion.
I'm gonna do,
why don't you do a spreadsheet,
I'm gonna
Colin?
do a spreadsheet and I'm gonna do 10% on the small and 20% on the bigger. And that might work out a little bit better.
So now this is all gonna go to dollars and change.
Not change, it would round up.
No, we're just round up.
Okay. Well, let's see what you can show us there at our next meeting, Colin, we can put some more thought into it at that time.
You like that, Kevin?
That sounds good, yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. Motion to close?
And if
Are we
we're gonna,
supposed
one
to
one last
sign
thing, if we're gonna do
Yeah.
an updated flyer also, to add on that flyer, it might be, and I don't remember what we have done in the past, but it might help to say, here's the scheduled fee, it helps us if you bring exact change or exact dollar amounts.
Oh, we
what
can
they would
absolutely
check.
put that on.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if we've done that in the past or not.
No, that's a great
No.
idea though.
That is a great
but we do
idea.
need a bigger sign than the last one we bought.
Right.
That sign was
Right.
horrible.
Yeah, I didn't get to walk out to get, my schedule's been very crazy, but we'll figure this sign stuff out.
Yeah, no, that sign that we bought it from was, we thought was gonna be enormous, and it's only,
Yeah,
It's,
this
it's
big.
like, well, it's the size of this table.
I don't think it's that big.
I don't either.
But you can't read the numbers, they're too small.
Alright, what's next?
Yeah.
You're gonna need a motion
Okay,
to
so I need a
close?
motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to
Can,
continue the public hearing to the next meeting.
Good point. I'll second that motion.
All right, all in favor?
Alright,
Okay, aye it is. And, okay, so we go to 1.8, Colin Roust?
he'd like to join the recycling committee.
Okay, what do we know about Colin? Anything?
Do you, well,
Oh,
do you see?
okay, I don't know what that says, well, let's see what it says. Please, that would be great,
Okay.
save time.
So Gavin's background is commercial composting for 6 years, pest control for 2 years, and management for 16 years. He's the chief of operations of Black Earth Composting. And he wants to volunteer for the recycling committee.
excellent.
What an excellent catch, huh?
Absolutely.
And that was because we had a booth, Irene Condon had a booth at Earth Day, and he was walking around and they struck up a conversation, she recruited him.
Nice.
So, that's your
Okay.
background.
Do we need a motion to approve? or-
Yes, you do.
Can we get a motion to approve, Colin?
Can I look at that real quick?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
what's the bottom?
This is just my budget information. It's
Oh.
probably where Jim's thing is to sign.
You switched them out.
Well, I forgot to get coffee and at like 20 minutes of 9, all of a sudden I just, oh my gosh, I was supposed to get coffee.
I'll make a motion to approve Colin Roos for the recycling committee appointment.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so Colin is approved. Now, he has to go to where?
We will let the Board of Selectmen know that you have approved him, and then the selectmen have to appoint him.
Okay. And if there's a problem, we'll take care of it. Okay, so then now we have landfill solar update, Colin?
You gonna let Jim take that?
All right, Jim, what do you got?
Well, Colin, not Colin. Duncan gave me a call about a week ago and they were meeting with the town manager.
Yep,
I haven't heard back from him as such,
okay.
but they were also reflecting on the fact of going in and making sure Sterilite's aware of this, to see if Sterilite's interested in assisting in making that happen.
Ooh, very good.
So, there's a lot in motion here, but it's
Yeah.
gonna take a time frame before it's gonna actually go forward, and once again, this will be of no cost to the town at all.
Correct, I appreciate that, Jim, thank you.
And we had to start somewhere, so we did.
We're on our way, I hope.
We're always going somewhere, just don't know when.
Okay, Gavin, you got anything? Okay, moving on. Invoices, Carla,
Okay.
let's pay the bills.
Employee action forms, as part of the invoices, probably should have had this as a separate agenda item. It's just, the Board of Health chairman has to sign, it's our cost of living increase. I can't sign Paul's,
Yeah,
so he's actually going up to 1570, I think he makes 1508 right now.
ooh,
And myself will be going up to 2334, and I make 2288.
oh my God.
So I think I got a 60-cent raise. So,
All
Mr.
right.
Chairman needs to sign those,
Okay, I can do that.
okay?
These other ones that you gave me, or where do I sign those? I don't know why you signed them, because you
Oh.
could.
I could, and I just have
Oh.
them all in the pile. I think I just wanted to let you know that those, and Sean Pearson will be going up to 1832. He's our new employee, the
Yes.
one that has the license for the
Yeah.
hoister, so that's good. Needle kiosk invoice. I had a lot of needles. That
Yeah, you did have a lot of news.
they were all in my office, and we actually fit them all in one container, which was really, really
Are
good.
they still charging us by the container, or?
They are.
Oh, thank God. That's what I was worried about.
I was worried too.
Well, we're not losing anything on that.
No,
Oh, good,
No.
good, good.
no. Weston and Sampson, just a normal bill. The police department had, police detail for Earth Day. 4 hours.
Yeah. There you go.
And Kara Giampa got t-shirts in the amount of $114.88 for the Earth Day staff, which they can wear every year.
Yeah, no, we approved that.
You just haven't had the
Did
invoice.
she buy them from the same vendor we do?
No,
Where'd she buy them from? All Sport Heroes, First Street, Massachusetts? What the hell is that?
she could have gotten them at a really good price.
Yeah, but I'd still like to know where she purchased them.
Well, that's where she purchased them.
From All Sports Heroes,
Probably went over.
41st Street, Massachusetts? What town?
She paid probably by,
She paid by Discover Card, I get that,
Right.
but I don't know where that place is. I never heard of the town called 41st Street. But
well,
All Sport Heroes,
Right.
41st Street, Mass.
it's 01850, so I'd have to look at what the
Just,
zip code is.
yeah, it's just a weird bill.
Yeah, they should have a town on that.
It should have a town, you know?
I don't know if I wanna pay that until we get a town on there.
That makes me a little nervous that it's kind
What's
of
the
a
zip
scam.
code?
Zip code is 01850.
We're
That's
not,
just
we're
weird.
not paying them,
We're
we're
paying
paying
her.
her.
I know,
So-
still, but I understand. I don't think we're gonna have a problem with it.
It's
Thinking.
processing. I don't
Thinking.
have service in here.
I mean, obviously they got the shirts. I mean, I don't mind paying that. That's just, I just find that odd that
That is
this,
extremely odd.
this place doesn't have
Zip
actual.
code for 01863.
Lowell,
No.
Drake it. Lowell
Okay.
and Drake it.
Lowell and Drake it, All Sports Heroes.
Okay.
All Sports Heroes, Drake it.
Well, we're only paying her back and they got the shirts. It's just really weird, but, I mean, we
Look
do
on the
wanna
back
give
of
her her
that.
money back.
Flip it over to some stuff in the
Oh,
back.
stuff on the back. Oh.
Yeah, it's in Lowell.
Payment. Taxes apply. I think that's just her credit card transaction.
Alright. There's no city on that though, no town?
No, that's just their
Alright.
credit card, so I'm gonna sign it, I mean. She got the shirts, she paid for them, give her money back. Minus the taxes, of course, because that's what happened to me when I bought the cameras, I didn't get my tax money back.
You don't get taxes back?
No, the town doesn't pay taxes. So I got beat for, well, I don't know, what I spent, $700, whatever the taxes are, $700. $750 or something for the cameras, the cards, the batteries, all that stuff. I get beat for the tax money.
Things don't make sense.
Yeah, well, not worse than that is the $80 I put out for the open flag that someone stole out of the dump one day after we had it. And I never even put in for that. So I won't be buying another open flag. And if you stole our open flag, please bring it back. Thank you. All right, is that all our invoices?
Good.
Future agenda items. Well, we still need, next month, I guess, we need to get the executive session for Shaw's to talk about possibly a new contract. We need to start that, I think, earlier the better.
That's a fact.
Yes. Public hearing about revising local tobacco regulations in July. That's the one where we, is that the one we keep the money to do education? Did we get that passed, or did we not even put that in yet?
Well, we haven't put that in yet.
Oh.
What this is actually to revise the regulations. There's some things that we need to clean up. You have a cap, and some of the wording says that the cap can stay at the same amount, but then the other part of a couple of pages down, it says that if someone relinquishes, then the tobacco license goes away. So what you're initially doing is you're diminishing the amount of tobacco license. So when we had 12 before, there's now 8 because you don't just keep them. You're trying to eliminate the tobacco. And then there's some bans on flavored wraps that you could possibly add in, as well as late fees.
Yep.
We're gonna add those,
Excellent.
okay?
Good call.
And Joan was out for a while. She left me a message yesterday, so I think she's back.
Mhm.
And I think she'll be ready to go in July.
Excellent, that's good to know. As a closing point, I would again like to thank the board. You guys have been great in helping me fulfill my duties as chair.
We're
And
gonna schedule our next meetings
it's
first.
already scheduled.
They are? What are
Yes,
they?
the 14th at 9 AM
And the 28th.
and the
at night.
28th at 9 AM. I actually have, that's what I was checking on my phone, to make sure I had that in my
I
phone.
didn't put anything in yet. so-
Yeah,
Oops, come on. Bog, no, I don't want that.
and,
These are still at 9 AM, right? Yeah.
yep, 14th at 9 AM and the 28th at 9 AM. Both, I assume, are Wednesdays.
Yes.
Okay, and again, I'd like to thank the board. You guys have been great in making my job way easier, and I appreciate that very
And I
much.
would like to personally thank you and Carl also for jobs
Yeah.
well done.
Yes.
And that's
appreciate
why
that.
we harmonize on the Townsend Board of Health and we make people happy on the other side of the
Yes.
table.
Yes, and I appreciate that. Now, these are the keys to the office and Carla's office. I have to turn these in, because I had to sign out for them. Jim, if you wanna go upstairs and get them with me, I'll
Yeah,
have
we can do
Sabrina
that.
sign them out. That way you can have them. Those are the keys for the dump. I turn those in, because those are for the chair. All right, can I get a motion to close, please?
Should you make a motion to close?
I can if you'd like.
If it's your last,
This is my last day. I would like to make a motion to close the recycle center. The Board of Health
We're
meeting,
on the spot, you can't think anymore.
and it looks like 9:45.
Seconded.
All in
All right,
favor?
bye.
Aye.
Let's go close it now.
Oh, thanks, everybody.
do you
Okay,
need this?
I do.
What else do I sign?